All right, all right, everybody, Jim Ingersoll here, and I'm super excited about what we're going to talk about tonight because you see behind me, what are these? Type it in the chat, guys. What do we have here? This, oh, whoa, this way, this is the tiny house. This is the teeny house. And, one of the fun things we've been doing in our Facebook group is guessing how big they are. So if you were not in that discussion or if you have a guess, how many think the size of the tiny house is bigger than the teeny house? Everybody? Right? So how big do you think these things are? That's the first question I get all the time, Lisa. And then the second one is how much do they cost, right? Everyone wants to know, like, how much does it cost to build a tiny house or a teeny home? We're going to get into all of that tonight. And you're going to learn a lot from Lisa. Lisa's got a PowerPoint. First, let me introduce Lisa. I'm just chatting with her because she's a very good friend of mine and Cheryl's for a long time. I spent quite a bit of time at the tiny houses Thursday afternoon, right, Lisa?
Yes.
And I've driven by them because I've got a place in Deltaville, Virginia also that I love to go to. So I've driven by them, but Thursday was the first time I've ever been inside. And the first thing I noticed when I walked in, this is part of your introduction, Lisa, sorry, is they feel really big. And one of the reasons they feel so big is because they have 9-foot ceilings. And I think because of that 9-foot ceiling, even like the teeny house, which is like 326 square feet. Think of it, how small that is. It feels like a pretty good sized studio because it's got a 9-foot ceiling in it. And when you do new construction, you have the right and the ability to really design it any way you want. So if you want a tiny house to still feel big, just raise the ceiling up. It's one simple, easy way to go. Now, I mentioned earlier, Lisa and her husband, Shirley, they really are good friends of Cheryl's and mine. And we've traveled on some cruises together and she's been to my boot camps and it's been a pleasure, Lisa, watching you transition out of REOs, which is really where you and I met because years ago, we started getting to know each other a little bit because I bought tons of foreclosures from you. You kept listing them and I kept trying to buy them, right?
You did. Your name came across my desk all the time. I said, I need to find out who this is.
And yeah, and I'm saying the same thing. It's like, who is this Lisa that keeps listing all these foreclosures? Maybe if I build a relationship and add her to my network, I can buy more. But our relationship with Lisa and Shirley is a lot more than just real estate and a lot more than just transactions. They truly are friends who I would do anything for. So I got the pleasure of watching Lisa like transition. Her wheels started like turning. She came to my boot camp and she's like, I don't think I have to do all this transactional business of listing foreclosures the rest of my life. And so I watched you like transition out of that. We did a podcast about that. Do you remember that, Lisa?
I do.
And then look what, boom, now you're like birthing teeny houses, right?
Yeah, I'm back at my roots, actually, where I was before I started in REO, when the market crashed.
Which is new construction, we're sure.
New construction. Right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you've been building for like 20 years?
20 years now. And it's funny because you know how you get involved in something else. And even though you're in the background involved in something else, but you're having to focus on other things, especially when it's putting food on your table because the market crashed, new construction died. So I was doing what I had to do. And then I had all this other stuff going on in the background. So I'm glad to be back the past few years back into new construction.
Yeah, so you've been building a long time. You've been in real estate for more than 20 years as well. And you've listed thousands of houses. You've bought and sold, you've rented, you've done all these things, but your excitement level for this teeny house is through the roof, right?
It is. Literally. It is. Everybody that talks to me about them, I guess they can hear my voice go up. I guess because it's the first time I've ever really felt real confident about an investment with real estate is with these, just because of the demand and the people that want them. And I don't know that I could keep up, honestly.
And I mean, look at the market we're in now. And we're all in real estate on the Zoom, so we got tons of people, but what do we have? We have like no inventory and a lot of demand. and affordable housing is almost non-existent. Do you guys agree? Gavin, you and I were just sharing information in your market that showed prices are up more than 20% year over year, right?
Yeah, I have a house that's $190,000 overpriced on purpose. We got a full price offer.
There you go. So it's in, Lisa, you've got some stats on your website about, the average median price across the United States. And then if you want to get to new construction, it's even more. So it's like those median prices are going up very quickly, and there's very few of them available anyways. I'm seeing the same thing on the rental side. Gavin, you and I share this, but like in Richmond, I had a 1-bedroom apartment we rented 18 months ago for $1045, and I just re-rented the same one for $1245. That's up 20%. And 18 months ago, I'm confident $1045 was the right price. Al, you're on with short-term rentals. I'm seeing the same thing there. If you could unmute real quick, I'm sure you are too. Demand for short-term rentals and long-term rentals, like you love, is through the roof. There's more and more travel nurses, more and more people that would prefer to stay in a house than a hotel room. So the demand for all of that's gone up, and the prices are going up. We've been raising all of our short-term, whether it's a travel nurse or Airbnb, all of our rates are going up, and we're like 99% occupied. We have like no time to do maintenance in our short-term rentals this summer because they're so busy. So what if there was a solution to all of that? No inventory, high prices, high rents, high demand for travel nurse, high demand for Airbnb. And I think Lisa, that the teenie and tinies, I think they contribute to solving all of those.
I do too, Jim. I think the demand is there. I don't think anyone's doing anything about it. Nobody's even talking about the shortage. And when I start this slide, you'll get to see exactly where I go with what I'm telling you. It's just going to all make sense. You're going to start thinking about it after I bring it to your attention, because a lot of people just aren't talking about it, and the prices are only expected to continue to increase.
They are. And so these teeny and tiny houses are easy to build, even if you're not a builder. Now, most of us on Zoom right now either rehab houses or already do some new construction. But I think the new construction teeny and tinies are easier than rehabbing houses.
They are. I'm hooked. I don't ever want to rehab again.
No, yeah, because it's so easy. And so, like, imagine if you could rehab a house and you didn't have to worry about like exceeding your budget by 25%. And when you started, you knew when you would stop. That's how it is with these easy teeny tiny houses, in my opinion. So Lisa, you've got some things you want to share. I don't want to steal your thunder here, but you're welcome to. Do you have a share screen on the bottom of your?
I do. I'm going to go ahead and share. Can
Yeah,
y'all see that okay?
I love it when Zoom works right.
All right, let me see. I need to go in the presenter view. And I'm trying to, okay.
It's working.
Is that good?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to maneuver everyone so that I can see my screen to show you. Okay, so I'm going to get right in, Jim. Interrupt me anytime. There are some slides we've already talked about, so you'll see me skip over probably a few. But so I'm going to show you why you should build teeny homes. And in my opinion, why you should build teeny homes. Okay, so just a little bit about me. I am a Virginia Class A contractor with my husband. I have been for 20 years. He taught me everything that I know, and I am licensed with him. I've been a real estate broker for 20 years as well. I've been in the default foreclosure industry for 13 years. Not anymore, but I was. And I've been doing land acquisitions and development for 18 years. I also design these teeny homes myself. I'm designing more as we speak, and I'm also a short-term rental property host. Down here, you'll see me on the job site. I'm very active on job sites. I prefer to be on a job site versus shopping in a mall or sitting behind my desk. So I'm known to go into one of our job sites. If I don't like a closet or a wall or where something's at, I'll get the Sawzall and I'll just cut the wall out because once you get it up and you have vision and you can visualize where things are, you want to start moving just a couple things around sometimes.
All right, so first action item, everybody gets to have a Sawzall. And if you don't like the way your teeny house is getting framed up, take out the wall or do
I
whatever.
took
you gotta
out a pantry that I had. It just didn't make sense. So I ended up adding a pantry to the cabinets. I had that ordered with the cabinets instead. It just made more sense. All right, so teeny homes, as you can see, they're real stick-built homes on permanent foundations, not to be confused with tiny homes on wheels. That's why I call them teeny homes. They're really, they can be any size you want them to be. I just call them teeny homes. Let me move this over here. Okay. Now the teeny homes, now see, I'm calling them tiny. The teeny homes that we have range from 326 square feet up to 836 square feet. And I'm going to show you throughout this whole entire presentation why I believe smaller is better. This is 680 square feet right here. This is the teeny house. And this will just kind of give you an idea when it was under construction, what it looks like from the side. And then this is what it looks like on the inside. I'm just going to scroll through these kind of fast just to kind of keep this going. I put granite, pergo flooring, waterproof flooring, stainless steel appliances, stack washer and dryer.
Yeah, you fit in your in-unit laundry. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Granite in the bathrooms, in each bathroom. And well, this one has one bathroom. So when I say bathrooms, I'm speaking of the other house as well.
Okay, stop it right there. All right, go back to the bathroom. Let's hang on the bathroom for a second. All
Which
right.
one?
So look at that. The next one. Look at the shelves with the cleats. Do you guys see those? Talk about those real quick, Lisa, because it's a great use of space. It's a great design and it's easy to build.
All right, so when you have a teeny house, furniture and everything is very difficult. I actually put together a spreadsheet of everything that I've ever ordered and the links to everything because it was very challenging. I spent a lot of time trying to find stuff. So I found on Etsy, I think it's how you pronounce it. That's how desperate I was shopping all over the internet. I was looking for something to put somewhere to put towels in the bathroom. I don't have, much space in there. So I found this. It was like $125 on Etsy, and it looked really cheap. It just looked really cheap. So I showed it to my husband. Actually, I first found it on Pinterest, and that because my husband now hates Pinterest because of all the stuff that I show him. So I showed this to him, and he's like, "I can build that. It's so easy." I think he had a lot of the scrap wood. I ordered the pier cleats from Amazon, and he built it. He built 4 of them. He built some for some of my friends at the same time. So he built me one for each house. They work out really well.
I love it.
This particular house is the 670. So it has 2 bedrooms in it. And I have queen beds in each room. I have a 55-inch TV in each bedroom, 65 in the living room. And I can't, Jim, when you were talking about not being able to get in to make updates, I've been wanting to stain my decks after the piling season ended, and because it's a year later, and I can't seem to get enough time. So it'll probably be fall before I can stain my decks. They're good and dry now.
We can't, there's no space in our short-term vacation rental to do any maintenance at all.
All right, so here is the teeny weeny house. It's 326 square feet. This is what it looks like from the side when it was under construction, just to kind of give you an idea on how little it is.
It's little, but it's got those 9-foot ceilings.
9-foot ceilings. I've never built a house with my husband as long as we've been doing this. I've never built an 8-foot ceiling. We've always built 9-foot.
I mean, it's a nice sized kitchen for
it shows in every house. It is. And I decided to put full size appliances in them because we like to cook, and I figured somebody who likes to cook would appreciate it. And also the tiny appliances are extremely expensive. They're like double and some triple.
I just bought some, but once in a while you get stuck. You need like an 18-inch dishwasher.
So I wanted to make sure we had like a coffee bar here. I tried to get as much cabinet space as I could in this house. And then I'm doing something a little bit different on the next plan. That's 400 square feet. I'm going to build, it's 2 feet bigger on each side. I'm going to build
That's set up as a studio, right?
it is. I'm going to actually have this as more of a bedroom behind the separation with the love seat on the next one. And on the next one, I'm going to move the love seat over to the 400 square foot one, and I'm going to get 2 real nice recliners to put on the end of the bed. All right, so bathroom. This bathroom is actually bigger than the other one. It's kind of weird, but that's how it ended up. But they both have really nice sized decks on them. We wanted to try to create as much outdoor space as we could. So where did the affordable houses go? So let's talk about that for a minute. The average home price in the US is $313,000 and it changes monthly. It's probably gone up by now. So what that equates to is someone has to have about an $80,000 income to qualify, and that's a 3% interest rate to be able to buy a $313,000 house. If somebody wants a brand new home, they're around 408. So where does this leave the millions of hardworking American people who can't afford a $313,000 house? Where are they living? I've asked myself that all the time. There's a national shortage of affordable homes in the US. So I created Teenie Homes USA. And why? Because no one is talking about it and no one is doing anything about it. We have to take matters into our own hands and do something about it. And the only thing that I could come up with is to build teeny homes. And building teeny homes to me is the solution to the national shortage of affordable homes. Now, a tiny home, teeny home might not be for everybody, but even an 1,100 square foot house, I mean, you can keep going up. 1,200 square foot house. We used to build those all the time and they sold no matter what. They would always sell, even years ago. All right, teeny homes are, like I said before, they're stick built, they're on permanent foundations. They are affordable to build. They're attractive. They're ultra comfortable. I try to make them as luxurious as I can. There's little to no maintenance for over 10 years. That's what I love about new construction. They're efficient to maintain. They offer affordable rents for tenants, and they offer affordable mortgages if you sell them. And they're great spaces for individuals, couples, and small families.
You know, as a landlord, you had me at no maintenance
No maintenance.
because it's all brand new construction, right?
Right. That's right. That's what's great about it. And most everything's under warranty, for at least a year automatically. But even after that, I can honestly tell you, we've only had nail pops come back on every house we've ever built. We've only had nail pops. That's very common within the first year because everything's drying out, and we just go back within that 1 year and take care of the nail pops. Okay, so I'm going to give you some ideas on what they can be used for. You can rent them, obviously, all day long. Use them as short-term rentals, Airbnb and VRBO. They make the perfect little guest house or house behind your house for your mother, father, brother, sister, adult child who can't afford that $313,000 house, a friend. This is the teeny house. It's perfect for 2 parents, in-laws, maybe even for yourself if you want to downsize. There's someone that has purchased the course from me that I have put together, and this particular plan so that they can downsize into it. And they can also be sold. They'll sell all day long.
You can also sell them on a note.
You can sell them on a note.
Cash. I mean, there's a lot of ways to do it.
Mm-hmm. And with people working from home now, people can use them for a home office, man cave. I don't know if she cave is a word, but you have to have something for the females. So I put that in there. And then maybe for some, they're just undecided. But either way, anything that you do with it, I guarantee you, I will guarantee you will have a waiting list for people that want to stay in these and rent them. So why build a teeny home? Because vacant lots and land are a lot easier to find than competing for houses out here. You know your building cost up front because you're already going to have it. You're going to get the estimates. Everything there is brand new. Like you see here, there's no repairs for over 10 years. And I do mean that when I say 10 years, the way that we build them. To me, it's a real lifetime investment. All right, so many of the real estate investors on here, they're all familiar with the Burr method, right? Buy, rehab,
Changed my
rent.
life, Lisa,
Say that again?
it's changed my life.
Yeah. All right, well, this might too, so hold on.
All right,
All right, so you would go, say for instance, you bought this house and you would do rehab enough to rent it, and then you would rent this, right, Jim?
oh yeah.
Okay. All right, so what if we changed it to, what if we added a B and put BBRRRR? So Berber, I don't know if that's how you say it or not, but what if you buy that existing home, you build a teeny or a teeny weeny, something like that in the backyard, you renovate the existing home, you rent each one of them out, you refinance it, you repeat, and now you have doubled your income and you have two properties on one lot. So let's just say that you buy this house on the left. This is the backyard. That's a shed right here down below the arrow. There's enough room here, and you build a teeny weeny right in the backyard here. So now you have two properties on one of your rental properties. So if you own rental
I love
properties,
that idea. I've got a property years ago that I bought that had a ranch home, and then it had a converted garage next to it. It was a 1-bedroom cottage. And we rent that travel nurse, and it's about 400 square feet, Lisa. And so it's literally, double it creates incredible rental income because of it. So I like that idea.
it does. It really does. Do you recognize that house at the bottom in the middle, Jim? You probably don't. You've bought so many. That was one
Can I
of
buy it?
yours. You bought that from me as an REO. I had to stick that in there.
Can I buy it back?
You renovated it and sold it. It's too late now.
Why did I do that?
But that had a big backyard in it too.
I've become more of a
But-
house hoarder these days.
So this is just to kind of like open your eyes some, because it might not work on every rental property that you have, but you can like start thinking about this, because you can actually really do this with understanding your area and the areas that will allow you to do this in. So you can build a little teeny in the backyard. And I tell you what you're going to find more than likely is a lot of times your renter is going to have somebody they know that they'll want to rent that. Maybe it's even somebody in their family. All right, so we all have heard of build, rent, refinance, and repeat, and that's exactly what I've done here. So you could do like I've done here, where I've built two on one lot. Now, if I were to use these two teeny houses as traditional rentals, which I did not, I started this last year in January and then COVID hit, okay? But if I had started out, and this is my backup plan, if short-term rentals did not work for me, I always have a backup plan with everything I do. So this is what I would have been able to get for these houses in that particular area. So my total annual income would have been about $22,000. Of course, that's on 100% occupancy rate. And I have no doubt, I'm very, very confident that I would have had 100% occupancy rate, other than the fact that maybe I would have had to change one over in just a little bit of time to get someone else in it. That would be it. Just maybe a few days. All right, so these two homes are used as short-term rentals. There's quite a few people on this call that know where they are. They've been to these houses. They know where they're located. I'm in a rural county. I really took a chance here, a gamble. It's coastal. It's extremely seasonal. Jim can back me up on that. They're not on the water. There's no public access to the water in town. See this little blue dot here? The water here is the Chesapeake Bay. You come down here to Virginia Beach and Norfolk, and over here to the right of Virginia Beach is the Atlantic Ocean. That kind of gives you an idea where we are. This particular blue dot looks like it's on the coast, but it's actually about 2 miles off of the water. So I have no public access to the water in town. There's no public beach in the town of Deltaville. The public beach is 7 miles away. And everybody that knew I was doing this told me I was crazy. I'd lost my mind. And they did not like my blue siding at all. And they wanted me to not do that. I did it anyway. So I use them as a short-term rental. I started in January just on Airbnb. I put it on Vrbo in May. I got one booking. I didn't get much booking from Vrbo last year. I did about 6,400 on my Teenie Homes website, and the rest was on Airbnb. And just in a seasonal, very limited time frame with this, I did 34,000. And that was based on a 39% occupancy. And again, seasonal, rural, and during a, excuse me, a national pandemic. And I didn't even try hard. I'm kind of embarrassed to say that. I didn't even create a website for them. I just had a little cute little sign made for the front yard, and I have a little brochure box. So then I thought, okay, so if I go like closer to Richmond and I duplicate this, and Ken Lacey and I and Ginger were talking about this, if I did this, and I know I could rent them at least 78%. I know I could, and that's what I know. I feel confident I could make just off of these two little houses. So that's why I do love the short-term rental aspect of it, because I want to mix that. That's in the mix. I don't want to do all short-term rentals, but as you can see, they're real money makers. Everybody falls in love with them. I've gotten nothing but 5-star reviews. I've got a lot of reviews, and everybody talks about how cute they are and how clean they are and how new they are. So I want to touch on lumber and material prices, because I know that everybody thinks about that with new construction. I put a couple projects on hold myself because I wanted, because I know it's going to come down. I knew it was going to come down. I just didn't know when. So I want to touch on this. I'm sure everybody on here knows that it skyrocketed because home improvement projects really increased during the COVID year, and the demand for new homes increased, which drove up the demand for lumber. And of course, they're going to charge us more. And there was some kind of shortage, because a lot of the lumber yards were trying to liquidate because they really didn't know where things were going. And people were still buying. So when people still buy, they're not going to come down on the prices. So that's been a challenge. But here's some pre-COVID facts that you might not have known about lumber. Lumber prices, they have always fluctuated. Petroleum products have always fluctuated, pipe, shingles, all that stuff. Everything fluctuates. We might not just pay attention to it, but it always has. Lumber prices actually decrease when the interest rates increase. And lumber prices just in the last week have decreased 40%, which makes me very happy and should continue to come down. And why is that? Because more lumber is being imported more than ever before. And if you take a look at this right here, I'm just going to touch on this for a second. This is the trading economics. This is the United States imports on lumber. If you look right here to April, this is the latest out. I did this webinar last week and it was on March. So it's now come out. This is in millions of dollars. Look at the increase in the lumber being imported into the United States. So this doesn't include the lumber yards, actually the lumber mills in the United States. This is all imported. And if you look right here, look at all these countries that import to the United States. So we have lumber coming in from everywhere. So I think you're going to see a lot of changes coming, and prices should really start coming down more with lumber because people are starting to buy again. All right, so and keep this in mind, we're building little houses, so we don't require a whole lot of wood. All right, as a property owner, you may not know this, and you can check this in your state, but in the state of Virginia, where I'm from, and in most areas, you can serve as your own contractor if you own the property. So when you go to apply for your building permit, you have to sign what's called an owner's affidavit. And the owner's affidavit is just going to state that you are responsible for your state's building code and that you're building that house to your state's code. In Virginia, as a general contractor, we're required to provide a 1-year warranty, and that's on houses that we sell. So if you are planning on selling a house that you build or a teeny house that you build, you need to check your state laws, because more than likely you will have to hire a general contractor to build that house for you, because we have to provide those 1-year warranties here in Virginia. So keep that in mind. All right, you might be asking, how am I supposed to know what the building codes are? You're not going to know what the building codes are. You're going to hire the professional contractors and tradesmen who already know the building code, and you're going to subcontract the entire build out. You're going to manage that entire teeny home build yourself just like you do your flips. You're going to do the same thing. And you're going to save thousands of dollars by doing that because you're not paying a general contractor like myself, somebody to come in and build it for you as a turnkey. You're going to save that money that I would normally earn. And I charge 20% over build. So you pay the build cost, and I would charge you 20% as a GC to manage this entire project and put it under my license. So that'll give you an idea on how much money you could save there. All right, everybody wants to know what the estimated cost to build a teeny and a teeny weeny on a building lot, on a vacant building lot. All right, so here are the numbers. If you want to build a 326 square foot, if the lumber prices were down like they used to be, and if they come back to that, which I say we're going to be in the middle for a while, you're looking at around 33 and up to 42 for a teeny weeny. It's not a whole lot to it. It's 326 square feet.
This is like the biggest question everybody contacted me about tonight had, Lisa.
Mm-hmm.
How much do they cost? You get that
Yep.
like every day?
I do. I do. All right. So on the teeny house, 680 square feet, they're going to range from, it's like 68, but I put 70 to 87.5. And what I've done here, y'all, is I've added 25% to it to kind of be in a range. And here's why. You have to keep in mind that in most areas, I know for us, none of our labor costs have gone up. The labor costs are the same. We're dealing with price increases on material. Yes, they fluctuate, they're coming down. And, you know, I was worried about it about a month ago, and my husband kept saying, and he's always right. I hate that. He's always right. He said, they're going to come down. Just don't even worry about it. They're going to come down. And so they are. Like I said, they've always fluctuated. So we don't worry about that, because something that you have to remember too is values are continuing to still go up. So keep that in mind. Values are still going up. All right, so
these are pretty easy to build. So you're building these at like $110 a square foot.
yeah, even less for us. Yeah. Like right around 104, 105. But yeah, I mean, if you want to, all right, let's just say you're real nervous about what I'm saying and you don't believe me, even though I've been doing this a long time. Even if you built a 326 square foot for 50,000, you have a house in your backyard, right? But it's not going to cost you that. And I'll show you something in a minute. So hang tight.
326 square foot house is the size of a good sized shed.
Yes, I actually have a shed that's bigger than this that I'm going to convert into a tiny
see?
house.
That's my point. So it is inexpensive. I agree.
All right, so I bought my lot for 10 grand. You might not be able to get your lot for 10 grand. So these prices are going to change. I buy rural, and I will talk about that. I buy rural because I like buying in an area that welcomes exactly what I do and more on one lot. All right, so then you're going to have your lot clearing, your seeding and grading, your connection to your water and sewer. And in a lot of rural areas like I'm in, we have well and septic, or we have public water and septic, or so you may have some different prices there. So you're looking at, 129 up to 155. You've got two houses on one lot, right around 1,000 square foot total.
Got it.
Okay. All right. And then included in the build cost, you saw the inside. I put pergo flooring, granite, premium. Well, the pergo flooring is waterproof, tile, bathroom floors, and surround. Solid wood cabinets, 42-inch, upgraded ceiling fans, oversized deck, premium vinyl siding. I actually had to order that siding just because of the color. So you can build this for less. If you can go in and paint the inside, that's going to save you what? Between the two of them, might save you $3,000. So you can do some of the stuff yourself if you're handy. I didn't. I don't have time, so I can, but we sub it out right now. So, all right. So if you were to build a teeny weeny, like right in your backyard of a property that you already own, you're not going to have to buy the lot, right? So you're going to have your lot clearing, maybe. You're going to have, maybe you can tap into your current utilities. That can vary there. You may have to tap into a septic, and that brings up a few more questions that I won't go into detail here, but you do have to have enough space for septic, or you have to modify your septic system. So they could be some additional expenses, but then you have your final grade and seed. And so you could be all in for 45,000 and have it right in your own backyard. All right, here's the teeny house 680, same thing. Same thing I just went over. You could be all in between 74 and 91, depending on how your prices fluctuate in
Affordable
your
housing,
particular area.
when affordable housing doesn't exist anymore.
Now, if you're out and you're in California, you're probably not going to pay these prices. But if it just depends on where you are. You know, his cost of living and materials are going to be more than ours on the East Coast. All right, so let's just touch this for a second, because I fell in love with teeny homes on wheels when they first came out, but the wheels just weren't for me. I didn't want to have to pull something around.
Those little wheels become wobbly wheels after a while.
They do. So I have to show you all this.
All right.
All right, this is the tinyhouse.com site. It's a very cute site where the people sell tiny houses. All right, look at the prices. Look at this one in Henderson, 115,000. It's smaller. It's smaller than the teeny weeny. It's 255 square feet. So tiny homes on wheels are more than building one in your own backyard. So I'm not going to harp on that. You can look at that. I just wanted to point that out to you. Here is eBay. I found this interesting. Look at the amount of people that are watching this for 35,000. And it goes on up 80, 46. So people are reselling and then selling new ones. So I'm just wanting to show that to you, because if you want to compare it to one on wheels, you're so much better off to build one. And then I did a search in my MLS. You can do this in Zillow if you want. Area 10 is very hot in Richmond. And I did a search up to 850 square feet. I just wanted to see what houses were selling for. There's a friend of mine on this Zoom that's listening. She's already in this, she's already purchasing, getting involved in teeny homes. She's very excited about it. She brought to my attention a house that she was looking at in Raleigh that was like ridiculous, 1950 for like 159,000. She's like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe this. So look at this 800 square foot house right here, built in 1952, that sold for 170,000. I mean, the prices are crazy. Leah got really good money for one of her tiny houses in Richmond that she renovated. It's unbelievable what some of these houses are going for. So if you can get a lot somewhere like this, you can really do well, you know, in your own market. But these prices are just crazy to me. I
had one of my tiny old houses appraised 6 months ago. It's under 400 feet. And it's in that area, 10. It appraised at 145,000.
Wow.
400 and some, less than 400 square feet, 385 square feet.
That's crazy. All right, I have to tell y'all this, and my friend Connor told me to make sure that I tell y'all this. As a real estate investor, builder, and broker, I have done so many things. I've built and sold single family spec homes over the years, and with my husband built custom homes for other people, fixed and flipped. I've purchased properties and created seller finance notes on wraps and contract for deeds. I've purchased subject to properties and still do if I have time. When the market crashed in 2007, I was sitting in a model home and I didn't know what I was going to do because everything stopped. New construction stopped. And that's when I got into REO, luckily, and it kept me going. But I had to rent spec homes. I stopped a development that I had 80,000 tied up in just the engineering costs at the planning commission because I wasn't going to be able to sell them. I had to pull the plug. And I feel that teeny homes are bulletproof. The amount of people that I have that have, I'm outside, I used to be outside a lot at my teeny houses. The people that stop in, they want to come in, will you build me one? Someone will rent it or buy it just because of the size of it. And I honestly feel like I'm prepared for the crash that I wasn't prepared for in 2007. I really feel untouchable with these. And I'm not just saying that, I really honestly do. And I feel like it's such a demand and people need somewhere to live. And I get a little emotional talking about it, so I can't talk it long. But when I was in the REO business, I dealt with a lot of people that lost their homes and they didn't have anywhere to go. And I couldn't keep up with the demand if I had these today. It was pitiful, y'all. And people that have gotten back on their feet. And there's so many elderly people. I did a lot of reverse mortgage foreclosures, so they didn't pay their taxes or their insurance, and they lost their home that they'd been in for 50 years. It was just heartbreaking. And I said, one day I'm going to have a community. So I kind of thought about this earlier on, but I didn't realize this is what I was going to be doing. So I have a big heart. I would love to rent all of mine to older people. I really would if I could pick and choose. All right, so I'm just going to mention this to the fix and flippers out there, just because I've been one, still am one, getting out of it. You're spending thousands of dollars a month on lead generation. You're competing with other investors and wholesalers. You're overpaying to get deals. I am. I've done it. Well, not now, but I have. You're struggling to find deals. You're paying, I see people, Jim, paying 100, 150,000 for houses in areas that I couldn't even sell as an REO for 15,000 years ago. And they're 1920, 1960 houses. And then they're spending another 100 grand. Jim can relate to all this.
Oh yeah, I've done it.
And the unexpected expenses that come up, like you said, 6 months down the road. They're beautiful when they're complete, but at the end of the day, y'all, they're still a 1920 and 1960 house. I'm sorry, but they are. There might not be yours now, but they're still a 1920 and 1960 house. With new construction, you just have everything brand new, and you're providing an affordable place for somebody in need, and you're making a profit off of it. So, everybody wins. I had an epiphany moment about 6 months ago, and a lot of y'all know Connor Steinbrook. He's a very, very good friend of mine. He's a huge supporter of mine. He loves teeny homes. He's doing some himself in Texas. And I thought, he kept saying, when are you going to do this? When are you going to do this? So I was like, okay, so what if I combine my building experience of 20 years and my love for teeny homes, and I created this awareness of the shortage, and I help my fellow real estate investors who they're all in my network, and even some savvy homeowners. And I show them how they can build a teeny home step by step. And that's just like Shirley did for me. My husband's name, like Jim said, is Shirley. If he hadn't shown me how to do it, I wouldn't be doing it. But he literally held my hand. I did swing a hammer. I did get cuts and bruises. I did run power tools because I had to learn it. I wanted to learn it, and I had to be his labor sometimes if they didn't show up. And it was really good for me. I actually like doing manual labor. So what if I could show others how to do this and just sub out the entire build themselves, like he did for me, and hold my hand? And so that's why, I created this, so that everybody could have a mentor. They could have me, and through me, they would also have him to help not everybody make money, but also to provide this shortage of housing. So that's what I did. I created a very rare opportunity that I've never seen anybody do before on how to build a teeny home step by step. And I actually had to lay all those floor joists that day. I remember that day very well. So I created this, and I put it all together. And I'm just going to run through it real quick on here's exactly what you'll learn. If you're interested, you can serve as your own contractor, and you can subcontract the entire build out to the professionals, tradesmen, and subcontractors. I show you the convenient step-by-step. It's a convenient step-by-step. It's all video-based. You can do it at your own pace, 24/7 access. I cover all of the zoning and the zoning ordinances to make sure that you're seeing everything that you should see.
Got a lot of questions on zoning coming through the chat box. Could you just take a minute and talk about the importance of it?
Yes. There are some zoning restrictions that you are going to see, especially when you get in cities. A lot of them in cities, if they allow them, will be that you have to occupy one of them. That's one of the stipulations in some of the major cities. Some of them, all right, so like what you see right here, this is an accessory dwelling unit. The teeny weenie sitting behind the teeny is an accessory dwelling unit. So when you go and you look up the zoning ordinances, you can look up accessory dwelling unit, and that'll tell you the requirements. Okay, so the requirements for me are the accessory dwelling unit cannot be more than 50% of the main dwelling square footage. So for instance, if this teeny house in the front was 1,000 square feet, my teeny weeny house could not be more than 500 square feet. If it was 2,000 square feet, there's a cap. My teeny weeny house cannot be more than 800 square feet because it caps out at 800. So there are the accessory dwelling units are allowed all over the United States in different areas. They are becoming more and more popular every day because of the lack of affordable homes. There is a county in my area, Jim is familiar with it, Henrico County. It's one of the richest counties in the United States. They do not allow any homes to be built in their area under 900 square feet. That is changing. They are working on a whole new ordinance. I've seen it. It is going to be coming out sometime this year. Doesn't mean they'll pass it, but they're getting so much demand. They know they have to do something about it because a lot of people cannot afford to buy houses and they want to build them in their backyards so that they can be near their parents or have their aging parents live in their backyard. So just because if you look up an area and it doesn't allow for one, there's a workaround, a legal workaround that I teach in my course. And don't give up, because if you decide not to go with the workaround, don't give up, because these laws are changing every day and you have to voice your opinion. If you don't speak up and put in a request, then nothing happens. So you've always got to speak up. But you're going to be surprised at how welcome they are in a lot of areas, and you'll really be surprised of how welcome they are in rural areas, which is where I like to build.
Really just learning how ADUs work and how they can supplement another already existing building is a huge and easy way to get rolling.
It is. All right, so I'll show you how to, a lot of people don't know how to do that. So I actually do 4 different videos, 2 in the city and 2 in counties, of areas that I hadn't searched in before, so that you could see how it takes me to just a little bit to maneuver through them, and you know what you're looking for. So it's really easy to go to. Some of the counties like Jackson, Mississippi, they have their zoning ordinances in a PDF. So you have to maneuver through it. Most of them are on what's called a Muni code, where don't type in Muni code and go there. You'll never find what you're looking for. Just go to the county and or city, and when you click on what you're looking for, it'll take you a lot of times to what's called a library called a Muni code. And it's very easy to maneuver through that. I show you how to evaluate land and vacant lots for your teenie, contingencies to protect you when buying land, because you have to really pick the right zoning. So you want to understand your zoning laws and your zoning of property. Residential, 2-family, R, whatever. We have all kinds of R's in the city. So you have to know residential zonings, So you have to know what zoning you want. How to complete accurate due diligence, how to build a teeny home in your backyard, how to build a teeny home in the backyard of your rental property or properties, how to build 2 or more teeny homes on one lot. And you're going to like this right here, Jim. How to build 3 or more on one lot, and it's legal. I'm going to be doing 6 on one lot.
I can't wait to come. That's a teeny home village, Lisa.
I'm creating my own multifamilies because I understand the zoning.
I like it.
Build to rent and create your own portfolio. You can access all of my detailed breakdown of my building costs, just so you can compare it to something. Because I know a lot of times, a lot of people are curious, like, I wonder what she paid for that. I wonder what he paid for that, because they charge me this. So you can see, I give full access. Everybody that's in the course right now has full access to it. How to finance or fund your teeny home. I have some private lenders actually on this call right now who fund my teeny home deals. I borrow all private money on mine, and then you can convert it over to bank financing. How to create a 5-star teeny home short-term rental. I share all of my short-term rental income and expenses and some things that I do to make it easier. And then I also teach how to subdivide land and create teeny home communities. I'm actually adding those videos to the course now. How to find good contractors and keep them. I know a lot of people struggle with that. How to obtain contractor estimates. Contractor estimate spreadsheet is included as well. And I'm going to give you the inside scoop about contractors. And I know the inside scoop about contractors because I've been married to one for 20 years. So I can tell you all about that. How we actually keep them dedicated. We've been using the same contractors for 20 years, and we've only had to replace siding contractors. So that's the only one we've had to switch out. I talk about and teach you about soil studies, septic systems, types of permits, the build and application process. And the whole thing is detailed, easily to follow, step-by-step processes. It's all videos. They're all in order. You're not going to have trouble going, where do I find this? Where do I find that? Because it's all really easy to understand. Selections, how to do them, when to do them, and you even have a checkoff sheet included. You're going to get at the end everything that you've learned on all these videos. I've put it in a spreadsheet so you don't have to keep referring back to the videos. You're going to have it all in a spreadsheet at your fingertips. So you're going to learn from 20 years experience, Virginia Class A contractor and teeny home builder myself, and then from the man who taught me how to build everything that I know how to build over the last 20 years. He's been building for 40 years now. So you're getting 60 years of combined building experience, access to both of us, and how you can use these same steps to build any house. So if you want to build your own house or 1,400 square foot house, these same steps are the same for no matter what you build. And when you complete the course, you are going to be building. And I cannot wait to see what everybody does with this. All right, so I had this course valued, and it was valued at $39.97 just for the course. And then this is what I have included in it. So if you register to take the How to Build a Teeny Home Step by Step, you're also going to pick one of my 6 blueprints of your choice. So here's one of them right here.
So somebody earlier was asking about architecturals. You actually are going to provide architectural plans for one house, right? As a bonus.
Yes, whatever floor plan they want. Yes, as a bonus. I'm going to give them whatever one they want. When they go to checkout, they'll get to choose which one they want.
That's a huge bonus.
Now, these plans are drawn to Virginia code. If you have any issues with getting this through the building department where you live, this PDF can be edited. So you can take it to a draftsman and I'll give you permission to edit it, and they can make what the changes that need to be made. It will save you a lot of money, because if you look right here, I'll show you, well, there's the plan. That's the different floor plans you can choose from. I paid $750 for each one of my plans. So there's $750 if you want to have a set of plans drawn. I think you're going to pay more than that now, because I had this plan drawn that is 1,100 square feet and it's 1,200. So I don't think you're going to pay $750 like I did. I think I got a discount because I had many of them drawn. So I just wanted to show you that they are they are expensive to have drawn. So the blueprint shows the house plan itself, all the drawings. You actually give this set of plans to your framer, to your footing contractor, the brick mason, the electrician, the plumber. You give this to them to bid it. It's on a foundation plan right here. There's a monolithic slab. If you want to use a concrete slab, that's here. Everything is here. It has a deck option. You can always change the front end of this up. Just remember, with new construction, you can change anything on the inside too. Any of the interior walls you can change. You can change any layout that you want, even on site, even if your plans are built to these specs. You can change with the framer what you want. This plan also, all the plans actually come with the screen porch option as well. All right, you're also not only going to get the blueprint as a bonus, but I'm also, as a bonus, giving you whichever plan you pick, you're going to get a free material list to go with it, which I don't know why I keep coming back to that. Sorry, y'all. Let me close out of these.
The material list is important. Normally, the way new construction would be is somebody takes the plans and they do the takeoffs, right, Lisa? And then with the takeoffs, then you can go out and price all the materials.
Yes. Now,
so all of these bonuses are like shortcuts that I see. That's how I see them.
Well, that's why I did it this way, because I want to make things easy. If I'm going to learn something new, I want somebody to like hold my hand and hand it to me and just let me roll with it. That's just my personality. All right. So you need to know what your material list is, because you want to provide this material to your framer. You only want to pay your framer labor. Okay. So you're going to control what's sitting on the ground. You're going to control what's put on the job site. So here's the framing package and siding material list, all right here. Okay, for each plan. All right, so I also have a private group coaching that is getting ready to start, because we've got some people in it and we're getting ready to start it. And I'm giving everybody 30 days free access to it. You're going to have direct access to me and my husband. He's not a big Facebook person. You may not see him on there much, but you'll see him, I guess, through me. You know, he'll be very active with me on it.
You've got a big heart.
Yeah, he does. All right. So you're going to get 30 days free. And then if you want to stay in it, you can cancel anytime. But if you want to stay in it, it's $97 a month. So you can stay in that. And I'm actually going to be going out to build sites. There's going to be a lot of activity going on with everybody's builds. So I can't wait to go visit everybody's job sites. And I'm also having new teeny home plans drawn. So every time I build a new one, I'm going to be showing that plan. And we're going to be sharing all that information about any questions anybody has as well. So I've got all three of those, the blueprint, the material list, and you can be in the private group coaching. So the how to build a step-by-step was valued at $3,997. And then the having a home plan drawn is a $750 value that you don't have to pay for unless you want to have your own drawn. And a material list, and this is what I was going to tell you. If you buy your lumber from Lowe's, you're going to have to pay somebody to do a material takeoff if you don't know how to do one. If you deal with a lumber company like we do, then they will actually do, our salesman will go ahead and do the lumber takeoff for us. We can do it ourselves, but we just get him to do it. And then he actually gets everything together and ships to us. They typically don't charge you if you use them to buy your lumber. If you're not going to buy your lumber from them, they're not going to give you a material takeoff. So we did the material takeoff for each one of these plans, and we have that available. And then the $97 value, the total value is $5,044. And I've packaged this whole thing up and I'm selling it for $497. And people ask, why are you doing it so cheap? Because number one, this is something new for most people. Number two, if we don't get out here and build these houses, then what's going to happen to people? Where are they going to live? They're going to be living in areas they don't want to live in. They're not even going to be able to afford to live in bad areas. So I put $497 on it, and I'm pretty sure that's where it'll stay, but that's what I'm selling it for, Jim.
Well, I like it. So I'm going to put the link in here right now. There it is. Okay. So who's ready to build? What do you guys like about it? What are your questions? All right. So I have some questions written down here, Lisa. The most recent one was, what about other floor plans? What about so you give away the bonus for the tiny home or the teeny home, but you have some other plans. Do they have access to those, or how do they get involved with those?
Okay, I hadn't said this yet. All right.
Oh.
There's two options. Okay, so this is on the main page. There's another option. If you want all 6 of my floor plans, all 6 of my blueprints, and all 6 material lists, I'm going to give them and the course for $14.94.
Wow.
All right. Now, a friend of mine, I'm going to give her credit because she talked to me about this actually today. And I really love the idea. I'm not a greedy person. I really love the idea. Her name is Stacy. Stacy, I'm calling you out. She's
What's up?
all right. She said, Lisa, because she knows I'm designing more plans. She's like, Lisa, what about if somebody buys all 6, then any new teeny home plans that you have drawn, will you give them to them as well? And I said, let me think about it. I don't answer stuff real quick anymore. I had so much going on. And so I thought about it and I was like, yeah, you know what? Why not? Because I've got a little cute 2-story that I'm building right now that, I'm actually designing right now. So yes, I'm constantly changing things up. So if you do want this one, and some will, some won't, then any new teeny home plan that I have drawn, that I pay $1,200 to have drawn, I'm going to send that to everybody who has purchased this. So you will continue to get these as long as I keep having them drawn.
So, so the link that I just gave everybody did not include that. How would they go from the link I just gave them so they could purchase and connect with you to get that?
Okay. So if you go to buy the $497, and you select go ahead and select your teeny plan that you really want. Okay. then it's going to pop up and it's going to
Oh.
give you what's called a one-time offer, and it's going to offer the rest to you. So if you do that, I'll be notified. I'll know who does it. And then I'll have the list, and I'll be able to keep track of the list so that I can continue to help with feeding them the new plans.
So Grant's asking approximately how much for the 860 square foot tiny house. I mean, I'm just kind of in my head saying like 110 a foot.
Yeah, I think you're looking at about between 86,000 and 105, 110,000 on that one.
Help Grant, give you like a range. It depends on your selections too.
It does. I
Right.
mean, you can go in, and I don't recommend it because everybody's different, y'all. You might want to go in and put laminate in. You might want to put vinyl in. I mean, it depends on what you want to do with it. I don't want to do any upgrades later. And I was setting these up specifically as short-term rentals with the rental as a backup. And even as a rental, I want them to be like superb. I want them to be better than what everybody else has to offer.
Okay, and then Sharmini, you've had a couple of really good questions also. Your earlier question was about basically like living off the grid if you wanted to, Lisa, and providing some solar options, or, I'm not saying you want to do water the water catchment systems, but I mean, all of this could be taken off the grid if you really wanted it to, right?
It could. I'm actually looking at doing solar now. I'm actually talking to a solar expert, and I'm actually going to have them on my YouTube channel that I've started, because I would like to, in my own personal house that I'm going to build, I want solar as well. So I'm already looking at solar for these, which will really help out a lot. The utilities are super cheap, y'all. I put heat pumps on mine. People are like, Lisa, why don't you put a mini split? Everybody's different. We don't like mini splits. I want a heat pump. I don't like a unit on the wall. That's just me. And honestly, they were almost the same cost. We had it bidded out 3 different ways just to verify it. And it was just for the cost. I just didn't want to do it. I just put a regular heat pump.
Hey, by the way, you guys can save the chat. Did you know that? You can save the chat by clicking the 3 dots to the right. You see it says like to everyone file and then 3 dots. By the way, introduce yourselves to everybody. Tell us where you're from and what you do. I always say, always build your network, guys. Get to know each other. So say hello, save the chat by clicking those 3 dots. Oh, nice, Stacy. All right, and then Sharmini, you were asking about getting materials into sort of remote locations. I don't think you've had any trouble getting building materials, really. Have you got to source a little different, I suppose, Lisa? There's no Lowe's or Home Depot down the road.
No, I don't. Like, we use a lumber yard. They deliver anywhere we want them, even if it's 150 miles away. We might have to pay a surcharge. So if you're off the grid, honestly, I don't know. I know just the ones I've seen on TV, they're brought in by train and then brought in another way, which could be, expensive, or helicopter. But honestly, I don't know how you would do that. I don't have, my expertise is not off grid. Maybe one day, but not right now.
And Amy's asking, you can unmute if you want, Amy, but she's asking about septic versus public water sewer. And do you teach how septics work if you need them and things like that?
I do. I teach you all about the soil work with the engineer, how to hire an engineer to come out. It's a very easy process, actually, but they are busy. So you're looking at probably 2 weeks or so before you can get one out. So you have to allow enough due diligence time frame in your contract if you're buying a lot. And I show you how to write up those contingencies. I give you 3 different contingencies to use to protect yourself, because you always want a way out of your contract if it doesn't work for your needs. And I even put in there, if I'm not completely satisfied, no matter what, I'm out. So that's how I put it. But you can also put in there, a 3-bedroom, a 6-bedroom, as you want a 6-bedroom. And what I mean by that, Amy, is a 6-bedroom letter, because septic systems go by bedrooms, not number of bathrooms. It's the number of people that are going to be living in that home. So it doesn't matter how many
I can
bathrooms
see
you have.
why it's so important to have that 30 days of coaching, Lisa. So what's sort of your vision with this 30 days of coaching. Is going to be sort of Q&A and a little bit of teaching, or what's sort of your thinking?
All the above. I go into a lot more detail with the people that are in the coaching group, and you can join the coaching group if you don't want to take the course. You can still join the coaching group. What I do is I go into a lot of detail about just the different processes, and it's a lot of Q&A because most everybody that's in it they have purchased the course, they've gone through the course, they have the blueprints, they're on the job site, or they're getting bids, they're meeting a soil guy, or they're waiting on the soil guy to call them because he went over there to check the soil. So it's a lot of moving parts, but it's really no different than flips. I actually like it better because I think it's more methodical.
Yeah.
It's a better process.
Evening, you're going to do it during the day. Trevor's asking.
What is Trevor asking?
Like, do you have an idea when you're going to do them? Will it be during the day, or what will it be?
Oh, the group coaching, they'll
Yeah.
be during the day. And I mean, we can always switch it up at night if everybody's schedule works better, but we'll probably do during the daytime, and then we'll record them as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm also available. And we have the private Facebook group as well, so I can always be messaged through there, or I can talk on the telephone, either way.
Okay, well, who's in? Who's going to be working with Lisa here? Who's coming up? I'm looking for a way to do it. I mean, I've got property now that could potentially be developed out, especially using ADUs. So that's just one way, but other than sourcing land or banking land, there's a lot of opportunity here for sure. All right, let's see. Lisa, can you give it back? Oh, I can do it.
Yes, no, there you go. I was trying to figure that out.
Anna and Terry, you guys are like on the beach in the Caribbean. I love it. Mia, nice glasses. Who else we got here? Beth, it's good to see you. I haven't seen you since my boot camp. Gerald, kind of ginger. Got a lot of people on. Okay, great. Jared Cott in Chicago. Congrats on everything you got going on. It's always good to connect with you. Keith and Ken and so many others. All right, so what else? Any final questions as we sort of pause on the evening here? Anybody? Anybody at all? Any last questions? You can unmute and go from there. So it's up to you. This is where you go. If you click the link I gave you, this is where you'll go. I guess some of you folks have already done it. It's $497. She's got 30 days of free coaching and all of that. And then I think the best bonus is the material list and the house plan, Lisa. I think that like seals the deal. That's the thing I get excited about.
Well, it's a thing of that you can just get started right away. If you want to take the plan, you take the course, the plan, you don't have to wait, have it designed. You can, but you don't have to. That's your option. And then, you can always ask questions. Like if you're feeling uncomfortable about a sub or a contractor, you can say, hey, what do you think about this? Or what do you think about this cost? Do you think this is right? That's what I like, because I don't like, we know prices. We know our prices. We know what material costs. We know what subs charge generally. And, I just personally, I don't like to see anybody taken advantage of. So I'm real big on, that's why I don't have a problem at all sharing the detailed cost of what we paid for something in this course so that you can compare it. I know if I had that on some of the rehabs that I'd done, what other people are paying, that would have certainly helped me out.
Mastermind in general. Now, Trevor, you're like on the beach and it says inspect on your shirt. It's good to see you. Now you've built some modern homes and you've done some rehabbing. How do you think a transition to tiny homes would be for you?
Oh, my question was going to be if I join the private group.
You get it?
Oh, go ahead.
No, if I join the private group, how many questions do I have to ask Lisa? How much questions is she going to limit me to?
I hear you, Trevor.
No, but I'm actually thinking about this concept because I still got a lot of lots.
I know you do.
I got a house in Churchill. Once we the tree house, we cleared everything out. The lot is I think I could tear the house down or actually add on and do attached, 2 single attached. But now I'm thinking about this and just keep it all for myself, because I haven't been, well, I've been flipping everything back to me as far as another company, as far as the, you know, and I'm taking the cash flow, I'm taking the cash out. I'm not really selling anything right now. So even with the new construction, I have those lots, and I have some more lots that in that same neighborhood. So I'm driving the comps. But once I heard this, I'm like, all right, I got to revisit this and change up the game plan. Because if we're talking about doing the tiny homes, and there is a need for affordable housing as far as for the aging folks and people that are actually losing their homes as far as to homelessness. And I think we all overlook the true meaning of homelessness, because I have an organization, I've been running into people. It's not that they don't work, they just got outpriced of affordable housing. So, and it's the sad part, people that's been working for a long time, they just can't afford to rent, and they definitely can't afford to buy right now. So.
Yes, I feel your heart. I like that. All right. Kenny Ginger, New Bern, North Carolina. You're in. I love it. Can't wait to see what you build. All right, Lisa, thank you.
Thank y'all
Okay.
thank you for having me, Jim. I've enjoyed it.
I think we sort of kicked off Teenie Home Nation tonight. And
I hope so.
I think and hope a lot of folks are joining in, because it's something I believe in. I'm really passionate about. Of course,
Yeah.
Lisa, you're my buddy, but I mean,
I added that link for you at the bottom.
You'd like the link up? What did you
It's
say?
all plans for all plans together.
How are you, Susan? So she said, if you'll follow this, oh yeah, there you go. Stacy put it on. So I think that's it. There are all kinds of links in the box here. All right.
Hey, Jim, can I add one more thing?
Yes.
There's folks that are on the fence about that don't know Lisa really well or thinking about buying the program. I just want to say Lisa is super sweet. I've texted her with questions and she's responded, especially if I'm buying or doing something that I know she has expertise in, as far as a house with a well or something out more in like, I'll just say away from the city. And she's just been awesome, just giving and sharing information.
You're sweet, Trevor. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I didn't pay him to say that, y'all.
And I just put in the chat box, Lisa, your integrity is something that Cheryl and I really love about you. And we love working with people that have very great character, and you're certainly one of them.
Thank
All
you.
right, guys, thanks so much. I will send out the replay, but it's good to hang out with you guys. I hope you have a wonderful night, and I hope you guys join Teenie Home Nation with Lisa. And let's go build some affordable housing for folks. See you guys later. Thanks, Lisa, so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.